Hey, what up, though? And we are live. It's Woodward Pistons at the Woodward Sports. We're kind of like in the back room, you know. We got Studio B just over here in the studio next to us. We're in one of the back offices. We got Studio A up front. But you know what? Oh, hold on. What? Oh, it didn't go live on goodness gracious. I'm gonna send it live on X a little bit later too, but I know we're live on YouTube. So if you got questions, definitely get them into the chat. We're here to answer them. It's your boy Kool-Aid. Call me Brandon Den as well. That's what my mama called me. Credentialed Pistons writer and reporter for the network. We got intern Noah, who is a great writer. Fire up chips, right?
Fire up.
Hey, and I know he prepared some questions. We got Willie B, Crash Out Willie style. Some of these characters will be with me tonight. I got Flannel that's showing up, Anson, Chris Plotty, hopefully too, for our draft show tonight, starting at 7:45. So you want to be tapped in to see our reaction on to the Pistons take. And I know it's just a second round pick. We get that. But for where the Pistons are right now, I think it's more indicative of who they are. They're not necessarily dependent anymore on top 5 picks, lottery picks. That's just not where they are. The disappointment of, oh, man, we picked 5th again. I don't think anybody cares that we don't have a first-round pick right now.
No. I love that we don't have a first-round pick. I think it's showing improvement. Don't have to worry about catching the draft at the beginning anymore. But I kind of wanted to ask you about the 37th pick. You know,
Let's get into it.
The second round, there's kind of this consensus that it doesn't really matter as much because most of these guys are going to be playing in the G League to start their career anyways, and they got to go through the development process. In a perfect world where you're the GM of the Pistons, what's the play here? Who are you taking, or are you shopping the pick out? What's the play?
Hey, you know what? Shout out to Corey King there. He says Maxime. I am there, Maxime, right now from Stanford, or I like Chaz Lanier. You're talking about some guys that can shoot in Jackson Money from North Dakota State. So I know the competition might be something that people are looking at, but shooters shoot. Yeah. And those types of skills, set shooters, especially pick and pop guys, that skill set does translate to the NBA. It's just a matter of, can he be knocked off his course given like a lack of strength or physicality at the NBA level. But there are some very skilled players, and there's still some, in my opinion, some first-round graded players that will be available for the Detroit Pistons here. And that's why I'm more comfortable with the fact that they didn't trade up. Were there some prospects that I was intrigued by? Definitely intrigued by, man. Definitely. But I think they got themselves in a good position here. And realistically, when you talk about, the second round picks and such, Dennis Jenkins played minutes for the Detroit Pistons last year. Absolutely. And I believe that whoever they pick at number 37 this year might give you a little bit more than even, might have a little bit more skill or talent or potential than even Bobby Clinton or Dennis Jenkins. So there's possibilities there, man. I like this because at the end of the season, when you're talking about load management, and I said this on Wake Up Woodward, when you're talking about load management, what the Pistons will do? They have Kay Cunningham here. They're going to have vets here. They're going to miss some games at the end of the season. You want to know that you have guys that can step in and make sure that this team can actually maintain some aspect of pace. And that's where you saw Dennis Jenkins and even Marcus Sasser, who I know they traded back into the first round to get him, but it was at the end of the first round. Those players, there came a time when Kay was sitting, those players stepped up and played a pretty good role. So, what about you, man?
I think it's very solid for the Pistons to pick a guy just like Chaz Lanier, who's a good perimeter shooter, who's a good defender himself, and he was SEC first team. He was he was All-American, collegiate All-American, the first team Woodward All-American award, Chaz Lanier, and that's a good pickup for the Pistons. They need a 3D type of perimeter shooter that could go out there and shoot the ball and could drive the basket. Now, if you want to be specific about getting a big man, John Boone from Auburn University is a very decided.
You and Janai Broom, bro. That's your guy. Son.
That's my guy.
That's my guy
because I watched him all Auburn last couple of seasons.
Talk to me,
and he's a transfer. He did transfer. He did spend 5 years 5 years in college.
I don't want to disrespect him. I mean, because you're right on all that. I don't want to disrespect him.
He's a little older. But more seasoned and more polished.
But he only jumps 3 inches high.
By IQ. Zach Randolph should jump 3.
No, I don't know if it's
Zach Randolph could have jumped a loaf of bread. But
can you slide a credit card underneath his feet when he jumps?
Don't need to. If he
let me stop.
If he put, that's good. But no, I'm in control. I'm in control. But You got if I could put up 9 points, or 5 rebounds and contribute, if I could use my size, 240 pounds,
physical.
Yes, he is.
And I get it. We made a lot about Area 51, so I get it, man. Janai Broom, he's definitely. I see you. Motor City, Mia, or Motor City, Mia. Johnny Broom also, and I'm seeing here as well. If Fleming is still there, I can see us taking him. Maybe even Thero. And even you know what, Rashid Fleming, that's the guy who I thought was going to be going in the first round.
Yeah,
to have an opportunity to see him in the second round, ESPN believes he's getting snatched up with that first pick in the second round. Is there a situation where is he a trade up type candidate if he falls a couple more picks, or are you pleased with the level of candidates that are going to be there for the Pistons? Because I'm actually pleased with the candidates that they have on the board.
Same here.
So
same here, and you got players, that could want to contribute. 37 pick, you just never know. And you don't know how this season will go. So
yeah,
I would take my chances on who's going to contribute to this team and who will go out there and benefit from the organization.
Hey, Mr. Jones, I see you, one of the regulars from the beginning. I'm talking about when it was like nobody on this channel. Mr. Jones, I see you. He says I finally made it. I missed you guys. Hey, shout out to you, brother, man. Yeah, I'm going to be trying to do more of these lives. We got some hungry people here. Y'all remember back in the day trying to get Woodward Pistons off the ground, and I had a lot of help from Rod Beard, a lot of help from Jeff Frady, and some others from behind the scenes, and others who've been on some of these draft shows. But this iteration of it, I found myself more like an OG position, and I find a lot of hungry people that want to be able to put on for Detroit sports. So, again, just to re-up, we got Willie B over here who's been really eager about this draft, about contributing with Pistons. He does work for several other networks. You work over there in the Word Network, Channel 7 type.
No, I work in the Word. I work for the Word Network every afternoons. Every afternoons, I'm a control operator, and I did sports freelance as a videographer for 21 years. I'm older now. Look, so that case, and I did JUCO. I did a lot of junior college recording in Wayne County Community College basketball, and I did Eastern Michigan in college.
I like the people to know who they talking to, because I know some people will know Kool-Aid on this channel. But we got some dogs, and I'm looking at you. Don't be looking over there, intern. No, I'm looking at you. He looks to his left. We got intern Noah in here. This is a guy who I know can set the intern label pretty quickly, but he got to get through school, but he still wants to contribute even when he goes back. So we're going to get him on. He's a good writer, really, really good writer. I'm ecstatic to have him on this squad. He went with me to Trajan Langdon's pre-draft press conference, handled his business, showed up dressed appropriately. He's already put out a couple articles on the website, did a Q&A with Terry Foster and I, and he's looking forward to doing a lot more here. We're gonna get you signed up with the Motor City Cruise come their season.
Yes, sir. That'll be a lot of fun. I think I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be a fun summer.
I can't wait, brother. But what about you, man? Anybody of interest for the Pistons here?
I like the guy from Stanford.
Maxime Renaud.
I don't hate Lanier either. I think that would be a good pick as well. I'm worried about Janai Broom. I think by the time he's ready to sign his first contract, he's going to be 26. You got to wonder the question, is he even still going to be ready for a prime by 26?
My man would be like, what's the matter with the OG?
I mean, he's still young. By the time he gets drafted, he's going to be 23. He's going to be older than K was when he's signing his first contract. So that's kind of like my big worry. That's kind of my big worry. It's like, I don't know. But at 37, I guess that's not terrible value. It's just kind of, is the age like worth it? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's gonna be 26 by the time he signs his first contract. That's kind of worrisome.
It does, but it does. So you got
that's your guy, bro. So I want to hear what you got to say about it.
I mean, back in the day, 23 years old was old. And 26 old, but I remember Dennis Rodman was 26, got drafted. I mean, a lot of players was 22, 23, and they consider ready-made some. And right now, I know it's a young man's league, and I respect that. And I see a lot of players who are still capable of competing into that level. And John Boone can't be that person at that level. But in the year they need something young, so we gamble something young. So I Chaz Lanier is a very solid pick if one of the guys like Dennis Schroeder or Malik Beasley going out there if they going somewhere else. But Malik Beasley look like he's locked in that free agency with the Pistons. I just never know. You never know when he comes in.
Yeah, and shout out to Trajan Langdon too, who said they let their feelings be known. They want their vets back, but that the agents have a job to do as well. And these players, they played themselves honestly into well-deserved raises. Dennis Schroeder and Willie B, they helped themselves this year. I know what some people will say about the playoffs, but Malik Beasley was prolific in the regular season. I believe that more so than in the past. I think this year was a product of dead legs for our shooters. You looked at guys like Cade Cunningham and Malik Beasley, and their shooting numbers fell off a cliff, bro. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. And we got a couple other prospects here that people want to hear about. Mr. Jones, what do you guys think of Ryan Kalkbrenner? And you talk about a guy who can – I think he's one of those draft picks that can give you some spot minutes and can effectively defend or at least give some type of resistance around the rim. And he has some versatility defensively. That's what I like. It's not just a paint guy, but when they try to put him into pick-and-roll situations and he's defending quicker, he can switch. And I do like that. So when you're talking about what is Paul Reed giving you, Paul Reed, I'm not going to disrespect him. He's decent. But can some of these high level, the guys that you might have been like, oh, can they go first round? Some of these guys, these guys like a Maxime, can they give you something like that? But with a Kalkbrenner, I like that the guy has a little bit of grit. I like that the guy has that kind of this mean streak, this aspect of sometimes I'm looking like, all right, he looks a little outmatched, but you still see him kind of give a second, a third, a fourth kind of jab and be able to get up with his shot. I think that type of stuff is important for a guy going to the NBA where strength is going to be on a different level, strength and speed now.
I think he kind of fits the Detroit archetype too. He's kind of he's gritty. He's not afraid to get at it. But again, same thing that worries me with Janai Broom. He's 23 years old by the time he plays his first game. It's the same thing.
But his game, I think, would translate better for the Pistons just because of the measurables. You're talking about 7'1", 257.
True.
He's blocking shots in the paint, blocking shots on the perimeter.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Like that.
With the big man, I don't think I necessarily worry about the age being that much. I don't worry about the age as much as I do with someone who's a little smaller. I think his game will come along regardless of whether he enters the league at 23 or whether he enters the league at 19. And I think if you pair him up with Duren and with Stewart, two guys who are gonna, I think, be great defensive pieces, I think that match. I think that he pairs well with those guys. And I don't hate the pick at all. It's just, again, the age kind of worries me with, him being 26 by the time he signs his first contract.
I definitely get that. I know there's some people who are like, F them picks, F them young players. We need more mature. We need guys who can step in. And generally, it's either you're older or you've gone to Villanova. Where you have this. You know what I mean? You can be a freshman out of Villanova. You're a seasoned professional now. But I feel that there's some people who they don't want the project player, which I tell them no matter which way Trajan goes here, I think it's still going to be good for the Pistons. This team has shown that they can get a little bit more of these young players, and going to the G League is not something that I fear for some of these guys. Like, I'm still looking forward to what Bobby Clintman can be, somebody who they gave a guaranteed 4-year contract to as a second-round pick. So, it's not the end-all be-all if they're not on that main roster regularly. I do believe Clintman would have gotten his opportunities if he didn't get hurt, though.
True.
What up, though, brother?
True. I'm thinking that you're on point on that one because size does matter when it comes to the center position. And now it's a very free-flowing offensively game or more offensive-minded game for a guy like him to be 7'1", 255 pounds, and utilize his size and he can shoot the perimeter shot. It could be a lot more effective for a safer pick if they want to go for that risk. If I want to get quicker, I'll take Chaslenair. I want to get with size. I dealt with that 7'1", 255 pound center from Stanford. So that case, you got to pick your devil's advocate. You got to pick which one is necessary could benefit the organization as a team.
And you know what? Here's one for you, man. I'm seeing this often, and I know that if we don't talk about it, people are going to call malpractice, malfeasance, whatever you want to call it, man. But we got to go over to Kentucky. We're talking about a Wildcat.
Kobe Kobe Dre.
Brea. Yeah.
That's a player.
I see Calvin Calvin went in the chat. It says thoughts on Kobe.
Oh man, he's solid, man. Solid.
43.5% from behind the arc. You talking about a guy with 6'7", 215. A wing player who I don't know about the wings.
The wings could be questionable.
I'm not against it because he brings a skill set. He's a specialist. It's not as if like you're going and getting another high motor, high defensive, high potential type wing that you're waiting to see if they can shoot, like Asar Thompson and Ron Holland. I think that if you did bring in a Kobe, even though I don't think that wing is necessarily a need, shooter is a need. Shooting from the wing position is still a need for this team. And so if you have opportunity to be able to get him, I wonder if some of these shooters, because there's a couple guys I like Jackson Money, like Kobe, I wonder if these guys fall far enough in the second round that it's worth a flyer. That the Pistons go, you know what? 2 second-round picks, we'll trade back up and we'll get a guy like that.
Throw the dice.
I would in a draft like this. I would. You're talking about a team that needs a little bit of nip and tuck. Anything that you're going to do to significantly move this team forward is going to be done in free agency or trade. All the other nip and tuck stuff, you might have an opportunity to go and find a shooter who, you know, if he's in there, he's going to keep the defense honest. Even if he never makes a shot, we just need to make sure that his defender is not collapsing on Cade Cunningham or Dennis Schroeder. And that, to me, is where when you get some of these true shooters who you know, their skill set will translate to the next level because we're not talking about can you dribble? Are you fast enough? Are you used to the physicality? This is just when that ball hits your hand, shoot that boy. Like when I was in college, we used to have that. Like we knew guys like that. And we would yell, watch the shooter. Like every time that we released the right, just watch the shooter. Why? Because we knew exactly what the deal was. We didn't care. In rec league ball, I played on many different levels of basketball, from NCAA, little pro-am, summer league stuff. Shout out to Steve Francis, who grew up behind the gym of the school I went to and used to bring a lot of pro-am guys to, man. And one of the leagues that is the most frustrating to me was the Sunday rec league because nobody looked like they could hoop. But it's always the white dude who he got the socks pulled up a little high. He does not care about the attire, and he will light you up. I've gotten my eye dotted so many times, man, by Grandpa Joe down at the Canton Summit when I was younger, bro. Like, it was absolutely crazy. So, to me, it's just like, I love specialists because it translates. It doesn't matter. I was out there. I remember, this is back when I used to have like a six-pack, bro. This is back when I was like, I'm dropping everybody. I'm hooping. I'm dunking. And it didn't matter. My guy is pulling up from everywhere on the court. I'm just like, oh my gosh, if we don't get this guy off the court. That's why I like some of these shooters. When you talking 40% from behind the arc on high volume, I like that, man. I like that.
It's high accuracy, man. You got to know your role. If this guy is like a 3D type of shooter in the corner or top of the key, if you let that ball go, it's automatic. It's an automatic switch.
I'm seeing people, they want Fleming, but I just don't think he'll be there, bro.
I know. The Kobe probably can pick up early in that third. 20.
Oh, let me bring up ESPN's mock drive for the first 7 picks today. And shout out to On3 Sports as well, because that's where I saw them kind of put this together. And it's ESPN projects Chaz Lanier to be the 7th player selected in the second round of the NBA draft from Tennessee basketball. So there's predicting Pistons. Chaz Lanier to the Pistons. But ESPN, they have Rasheer Fleming, St. Joseph's Rasheer Fleming going number 31 overall to Minnesota Timberwolves. Fresh off the look. Draft starts, they're talking about there may be less time with that pick than there was with Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
And so you know, Maxime Renard, they got him going next to the Boston Celtics. What the flip? They're not going to pass on him.
Wow.
Oh crap.
That's
a good pick for a team like that,
that's
man.
Snatchy.
Dog. Shout out to Nation Smith. That's another one of the dudes who's been one of those day wonders and supported a lot. Aloha to you too, brother. I see you. But dog, that is actually a really good pick for them. I think Rasheer to the Timberwolves and Maxime to the Celtics. That's what good organizations find ways to do. We can sit here and say what the second round is or isn't, but for those organizations, those 2 players, hey, they may by the end of the season be some players that contribute to, and there's going to be some opportunity with Jason Tatum out with the Celtics.
Yeah,
They could be some contributors.
That Celtics team. Oh,
there you go.
that Celtics team could get scary because he'll be kind of finding his groove by the time Tatum's back. That team could get real scary.
Yeah, the Celtics said, "F the rumors of our demise."
Yeah, right,
like we're
right.
literally still here to play. Because if the East is wide open, how do the Celtics not have enough?
I think the East is weak enough that they could still potentially be looking at like a top 4 team even without Tatum this upcoming year.
Or without Drew Holiday.
That too.
Losing Drew Holiday.
They do got Anthony Simons who's gonna fill it up, bro. He
Yeah, he
can
does.
shoot.
He could fire up, and Jalen Brown will be more ball dominant without Tatum now, and they could show that
Mhm.
he could carry that Boston Celtics. So I wouldn't sleep on the Celtics
Yeah.
that low ever since they lost Tatum.
And-
So that
so we got to get going soon. I see ESPN. They got Ryan Kalkbrenner right after that. Then Tyrese Proctor right after that, and then a dude, and then Chad. So a lot of the people that they want the Pistons to select out there, I've been seeing in the chat. They're saying that the Pistons are probably gonna wind up missing out on some of those guys, but they will have a shot at Chaz. Which to me, still, you talking about those 7 prospects I just mentioned. Those are really good prospects, and there's still some more on the board after that. So, guys, we got to get going. I need a Who's More Improved Hawks and Magic. Tap in tonight, 7:45 on Woodward Sports. Not Woodward Pistons, Woodward Sports. I'm hosting a draft show. We're going to have some people on there. We'll get Willie on a live stream.
Yep.
We're going to have intern Noah. We're going to have Flannel Sam, Anson, Platty, and just the crew, whoever want to show up. So be there tonight, 7:45. We're going to talk. We'll answer your questions. Then we'll get into the draft and the outlook, man. So appreciate you guys for kicking it off with us. Get over to Big D Energy over at Woodward Sports right now. Most importantly, you guys have a blessed day. Support my dogs, man. Shout out to intern Noah and shout out to Crash Shout Willie B.
right here.
Hey, that's a show.